In this video, we're going to be doing a deep dive into CPQ and Guided Selling inside of Zoho CRM. So these are a set of tools that essentially give you a robust way to encourage cross-selling or even require it, manage pricing levels, and help your sales team actually go through a set of questions to pick the best products and services to satisfy your clients' requirements. So before I jump in, I do want to ask, if you find the video useful, be sure to like and subscribe down below. Leave me a comment with any questions, feedback, or ways that you're excited to use this tool in the future. And as always, if you need any help with your Zoho install, just head on over to Zenatta.com and click on book a meeting. We'd be happy to chat about how we can help. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right into the walkthrough. So you'll notice that I do have a couple tabs opened up. I've got our settings. That's where we're going to actually jump into CPQ. I do have an example deal. Main reason we're going to use this deal is that it's linked up to an account. Main thing to know about this account is that it's in a particular industry. We're going to use that for some of our pricing rules. And then lastly, we're going to be doing a lot of this work off of this example item. Key components here are that it has a product category and a manufacturer, which are actually what we're going to use in our guided selling demo. So let's do a quick high level of each of these categories. Then we're going to jump in and actually make a rule within each of them. So first off, we have the product configurator. Little shout out to the word configurator. I love it. It never sounds like a real word, but it in fact is. This is basically a way to connect different products. So you can either suggest or even require a product to be co-sold with another, or you can make specific field updates to your records when a product is included. Next are going to be pricing rules. So these are essentially a way to give some type of discount or increase in price, if you'd like, based on either bulk discounting or based on specific criteria related to that account or deal. So this is actually where that industry is going to come in. We're going to do a industry-specific discount. Lastly is guided selling. We're going to do this one last. This is essentially a way to create a sequence of questions that will filter down some suggested products. So that's where we're going to come in with our categories and manufacturers here. Nice thing about guided selling is you can kind of frame it like a sequence of questions so that if you did want a sales rep to kind of go through a logic tree while they're on the phone with someone or while they're doing a scoping or discovery call, you can actually create that via guided selling. So let's get started with our product configurator here. We're going to call this our example configurator. We're going to choose a module. We're going to have this apply for quotes in our case. Again, you can get pretty flexible with this. Anywhere that you have a subform that has an item lookup, you generally can apply these. Next, we'll choose our layout and which subform this should count for. And now we're ready to go ahead and click on next. So this is kind of the one screen to rule them all. Over on the left-hand side is where we're going to choose our products. Over in the middle is where we can set up any criteria. And then over on the right is where we can determine what exactly should happen when this product and this criteria are met. So over on the left-hand side, I'm going to choose a product. Here, we're going to grab our example item. Now, you can have multiple products go through one rule. Just know that they're all going to be processed exactly the same. So what generally happens is you're going to end up with quite a few different rules in these product configurator sections, just that kind of connect different products to different outcomes with specific rule sets. And a big thing here is really just connecting, you'll probably end up having one rule for each criteria and action for any set or individual products. Now, in the middle here, we're going to go ahead and put a criteria that pulls from the related account. And we're going to say, hey, if the industry is ASP, which is an application service provider, which is just the industry that I happen to have chosen inside of my demo account, we can go ahead and click Save. Now, you technically don't need a criteria. This is not required. You could just have this apply for all of the records. I just like to make sure that we're doing kind of a full and complete demo. Now, next, we can define specific actions that we want to have occur when this product is added for a quote to an account inside of this industry. So for this particular product, we're going to add both a mandatory product and a suggested product. So under the mandatory section, let's say that anytime we sell this product, we must include some service hours, right? So let's say we want to say, hey, we're going to include some amount of quantity of our service based on our other product that we have included, right? So here I can say, hey, if I include one particular quantity of an example item, we're going to pull from another quantity in our quoted items to make sure that we're actually associating the appropriate amount of units. So if our example item, let's say, had a quantity of, 1, we might want to add, multiply, or divide that quantity against our other option. So here we want to say, hey, we're going to multiply by, let's say, 2. So if we sold 1 unit of our example item, we need 2 units of our service. Maybe it takes 2 hours to set this thing up. Now, you can also set up if there's any rounding rules or negatives that you need, you can do that. In our case, we're never going to have a negative quantity. So we're good just to set this as, hey, we're going to multiply whatever the quantity of our items is by 2 and call that the quantity of our example service. You can, by default, set this product as free. This is something that gets included for free. You can also check for duplicates. So I really like doing this, basically saying, hey, if the user happened to have already added the service, you can either choose to skip it or override it. And now in this case, a lot of the times when you're doing a required field like this or required item, and you have some type of rule that's setting the quantity, I actually would say go ahead and do the overwrite. Because if this is mandatory, it's very likely because you have a pretty strict rule that's set up that you very well might want to enforce. Now, next one here, we're going to do a suggested product. So this is a case where an upsell might make sense, right? Maybe you sell shoes and you want to suggest socks, right, that you also sell. But it's not required. It's not something where like, hey, in order for you to even get this item, you must have us go out and set it up for you. And that does charge some amount of money. Now here, what we can do is set up that, hey, we want to go ahead and offer this finished good as an additional product, but we're not going to make it required. Let's say here we're not going to worry about it being dynamically a quantity. Maybe this is like a warranty package, right? Or something like that. Here, again, we can check for duplicates. We can set this product as free. I'm going to go ahead and do my duplicate check. So now that we have this set up, we can trigger when it should execute on create, edit, or both. I'm going to do both because a lot of the times you might create the quote and add those items at the same time. So let's go ahead and actually now take a look at what this quote's going to do. So I'm going to create a quote from my deal. The important thing here is that it's going to pull in that account name. I'll give it a subject line. Let's call this our example subject. Now down here below, I'm going to grab my example item. I'm going to say, maybe we have 5 quantity of this. And then I'll click on save. So what we'll see is that my rule has triggered and it said, hey, because you added 5 of my item, you also need to add 10 of my service, right? So now I can save that and it's been applied automatically. Now, when I open back up into that quote, we'll have this little product suggestion tab that will pop up that says, hey, do you want to add this finished good, right? Just kind of making that offer for the upsell and making it visible for this particular user. Now, if I just click add to quoted items, just like that, everything's been added and this quote now satisfies our CPQ rules. Do keep in mind that because I did not require the finished good, it didn't have to be added. It was just a pop-up that says, hey, this is a good idea to add this, but it is not in fact required. I'm going to go ahead now. We'll open our deal back up so we can run another test in a bit. And then I'll remove this quote to kind of get it out of our way as we're going through the video. All right, so with things cleaned up, we're now going to go ahead and create a price rule. We're going to call this an example price rule. You can choose to make this either a direct or volume-based discount. I'm going to make it a direct discount because in this case, we're setting this up to be like a discount for an industry. So we'll do this in our quotes module. We'll choose our same subform. And now then you can do this either based on the list price or based on the discount. I like doing these on discount. It just is a little more intuitive to me. Fundamentally, they work the same way. The difference would be if I did it on list price, it'll tell me how much of the list price do you want to charge? And I would type 90% to give a 10% discount. Mentally for me, it feels more natural to say I'm discounting 10% rather than I'm charging 90% of list. But again, that's really just to your preference. It's just in my head, discount makes a little bit more sense. We'll go ahead and choose our product. That's going to be our example item. We'll apply our filter for the industry of that related account, just like we did last time. main reason that I'm showing a lot of these with these criteria-based discounts, especially for price rules, is if you're just doing a bulk volume-based price discount, you could just use a price list. You don't technically really need the price rules for that. I like the configuration tool better here versus a price list, but really the special sauce of what price rules do is a lot of these criteria sets. Now we can go ahead and choose our discount. I'm going to do percent based, and we're going to discount from our quoted items, discounting the list price that we've pulled in. I'm going to set my discount at 10%. So basically what I'm saying here is if an example item is added to a quote that's going out to this type of account, I want to discount it by 10%, right? Pretty simple rule. Again, this is one where you might have a lot of products all within one rule. The way that you're likely going to organize your price rules is really based on the criteria itself. So I might have a price rule for these different types of industries, right? Maybe you know that certain clients are like distributors, right? So they might get 40% off of list, but they have to buy in larger quantities. So these get more granular as you get deeper into them. But now we'll go ahead and click save. We'll jump back over to our deal. We're going to make a new quote. We're going to add our example item so we can see these rules kind of stack on top of each other. Here, I'm going to do my quantity of 5 again, and then we'll click save. So here, same thing happens as before. So it's adding that example service in, and we'll make that save and apply those changes. We'll go into our quote. And then what we should see is that a discount has been applied of the appropriate amount. Looking at this here, we do see a little bit of an issue around the discount being 10% of the list price. The way I might need to fix that is actually to come in, edit our rule, and make this based on amount. So minor little error there. If we jump back in, maybe we'll just make a new quote real quick so you can kind of see the process. You'll notice that I'm testing each of these as we go just to make sure that we're really detailed. You never want one of these to get deployed and be incorrect, right? So definitely test as you go. And then I'll click save. It'll apply that same mandatory product. And now as we jump down, we should see a better pricing rule. So now, perfect. Now we have our 10% discount based on the full amount. So there, again, the learning lesson is just if you're using these and you discount based on the line item price or that list price, it's not going to capture the quantity differences. So just make sure to be careful about that. Last thing here, again, like we saw before, that finished good is being suggested as a component that you'll likely want to include. And of course, we can just add to quoted items and we'll be able to see that pop right in. So with that, next up is going to be setting up a guided selling rule. So here, again, guided selling is basically a sequence of questions that we can ask a user to guide them to put the correct product onto our record. So very similar, we're going to make it for quotes inside of our subform. We'll jump into next. Now this one, you'll notice right off the bat, the UI looks pretty different. So here, we're kind of going through and we're going to choose questions and which field should be used as a response to each of those questions. So maybe for our first question, we're going to ask them about product categories. Are they interested in hardware, services, whatever it may be? So we're going to ask, are they interested in hardware or services? Down below, we'll choose which field should then be asked for them to fill in as a response to this question. I can then add additional fields. So let's say we have like a preferred vendor or manufacturer. And we can type this in. Again, this is like the internal name of the question. This would be like the thing that the user will actually see. So then inside of our product, again, we're going to want to be filtering based on this manufacturer field. So we'll choose that field. Now, we also can look at things like budget. And again, here we can come in and choose how we want to track that, right? So we'll say, hey, do they have a particular budget? And then we can look at that unit price as the thing that is asked. So we'll click save. Again, we just added 3 questions there. You can add many, many more if it's required for your use case. We're going to jump back into our deal and we'll make a new quote. Actually, looks like we picked a different deal, but that's okay. And I'll have our final example here. We're going to put it all together now. So in this case, I am going to do this a little bit differently. So we're going to get rid of that row that I added on accident there. And now we'll see, because we have guided selling enabled, we have this new little option. This will show up when they're initially creating the quote and whenever they come back in to make edits to that quote in the future. So I can click on guided selling, and now, just like we had before, we're going to have those little pop-ups where the user can come in and make selections. And these work exactly the same way as fields do. So I can say, hey, they're interested in hardware. Again, this is why you kind of write these in human language. Let's say their preferred manufacturer is, the one that I have in my example product. But again, these are things that you would be asking your clients. And then lastly, we could say, hey, do they have a particular budget? Is there a maximum unit price that they're willing to pay? Unit price here is set at $10,000. Let's say they said, hey, as long as it's less than or equal to $15,000, it would not be over our budget. Now I can click submit, and it's going to give me one or many products that satisfy those set of requirements. Now, again, I've set it up intentionally here to get me that one product. If you have a really big product list, you might have multiple, right? And then you'll need to go through and maybe ask more questions or make suggestions to the client. So keep in mind, like I set up 3 in my guided selling. You might have many more. The goal would be that at the end of that guided selling process, they don't have too many products to choose from, right? You might not always get it down to 1, but maybe like 5 or 10 is going to be a lot more manageable. And then you could like run through the pros and cons of those with your client. So now I'm going to add my selected item. Let's say, hey, they're going to get 5 of these, just like we did before. I'll click save. Now, guided selling added the product, but it still has to go through our same set of rules, right? So that example service still being required at a unit a quantity of 10. And then our example finished good still being suggested so that we can add it to that quote. So now this quote here, we've basically run through all 3. We used guided selling to go ahead and go through our set of questions to pick the appropriate product. Our product configurator then required our example service and suggested our finished good. And then last but not least, our price rule applied to give them that 10% discount because of the industry of that related account. And we result in this beautiful quote here where ideally we've made sure that we've satisfied our business requirements and we've gotten a little upsell while we were at it. So with that, I really do hope this video was useful for you. I will highlight, this is kind of a simple example on CPQ. For companies that have really big sets of products and different requirements here, these rules can become many and they can become complicated. So definitely leave a comment down below if there's kind of a particular case or scenario that you'd be interested in seeing. I'm always happy to circle back and do like an advanced deep dive on this topic. While you're down there leaving a comment, make sure to like and subscribe if you did find the video useful. As always, my name is Tyler Colt, and I will see you next time.